somebody out in the world and be like, "You're mine." Whew, Gesundheit. Bless me. Hi Sparkles, it's Jordan Sparks. Welcome back to my channel. So I know that a lot of you guys don't really watch these kind of videos, but on the other side, I do know that all of you guys that do watch these kind of videos really appreciate when I make these kind of videos, so thank you to those of you guys. But today I'm going to be doing a Q&A, and really honestly thank you guys to all of you that watch my channel, and especially thank you guys so much to those of you that actually take the time out of your day to watch my videos and aren't just my dance reaction videos, because I appreciate you. You are the best. So that being said, the first question in this Q&A is, have you ever met someone famous? So yeah, we're just jumping right in. Honestly, I have met a lot of famous people. I've been really lucky to meet quite a few famous people, and that's definitely not from YouTube. I met Daniel Radcliffe, who's Harry Potter. That's like the most famous person I met, and I met him on the set of What If, and I was doing background acting on that, so I met him on that. And that was really cool. I was super starstruck in that moment. I also met, Piper Perabo. I met her on the set of Covert Affairs, which is a TV show. If you don't know who Piper Perabo is, she was the oldest sister in Cheaper by the Dozen, and she was the star of Coyote Ugly, and yeah, I love her. And I met Abby Lee Miller and Maddie Ziegler and Kendall Vertes and Peyton Ackerman. I just randomly ran into them in the mall in Toronto. Who else have I met that's super famous? I met Akon. Randomly, I was in the booth at the Rihanna and Akon concert, and Akon came and sat in there to watch Rihanna perform, and that's where my seating was, or standing, I guess, so that was interesting. Who else have I met that's famous? I've met Haley Joel Osment, who is Emily Osment's older brother. Emily Osment was in Hannah Montana. She was Hannah Montana's best friend. And Haley Joel Osment was the kid that starred in The Sixth Sense. And I met Victor Garber, and he's like a big Broadway star, and he's Professor Callahan in Legally Blonde, if you've ever watched that movie. But yeah, those are some of the famous people that I have met. I met Kenny Ortega, who directed Descendants 1, 2, and 3. He directed High School Musical 1, 2, and 3. He directed Miley Cyrus Meets Hannah Montana, the tour. He directed Michael Jackson's tour. He directed the Jonas Brothers. He's a god. Love him. But yeah, I met him. I met Dove Cameron. I met Cameron Boyce, rest in peace. He was such an angel. I met all of the cast of Descendants, really, on Descendants. So China Anne McClain and yeah, a bunch of them, and that was when I was on Descendants doing dancing and background acting as well. So you never know what's going to happen when you do some background acting or work in film. No matter what you're doing in film, you can meet all different kinds of people. So those are most of the famous people that I met. The next question is, would you like to be famous? And I've got to say that at this point in my life, I really don't care about fame. So my entire life, I was actually so enamored by fame, and not so much the intention of I don't know, gaining an entire platform or a number of people. It wasn't about the numbers. It was the fact that I was enamored by people that were famous and the impact that they had on the world. So growing up, I was always the kind of person that, sure, I'd watch your performances, but I loved interviews. I still, to this day, I will be researching Judy Garland interviews, Marilyn Monroe interviews, Elvis Presley interviews, all of these great stars from the past. I love to find every single snippet of an interview that I can watch, because I just find it so fascinating, hearing what their experience was like, because nobody else in the world had the same experience as Judy Garland. Nobody else in the world ever will have the experience as Judy Garland. So it's so interesting to listen to their stories and not just watch their performances. So their performances are great standing alone, but to me I've always been enamored by that part of fame. But yeah, at this point in my life, I work actively on YouTube. I put myself out there on a daily basis, but I'm not out there being I need to grow a platform, I need the entire world to see me. I'm just kind of almost afraid of that at this point in my life, because I don't know, that to me scary. Being a Kardashian or being that level of fame is just absolutely crazy. But I would love to have a platform and continue performing and continue what I'm doing right now. So the next question is, if you could change one thing that happened, what would it be? I don't think that I would change anything that has happened, because I'm one of those people that likes to believe in fate and likes to believe that everything has happened for a reason. And I like to believe that I have no regrets. So I feel like everything is going how it is supposed to be, so I wouldn't change anything. The next question is, if you could live anywhere, where would that be? And this is something I've been thinking about a lot, and honestly I have no idea, because there are so many places I would love to travel, because I am very untraveled. I've went around Canada, I've been to Mexico once, I've been to Cuba, and I've been to Florida twice for like a couple days, and other than that I've never been anywhere else in the entire world. So I would love to travel, but I have no idea where I would want to live, and that's kind of why I want to travel the world and see where I want to live. I'd love to go see what the other cultures are in the world and see where I feel like I would belong, if that makes any sense, because Canada's great, but I know that there are places all over the world that could be awesome for me to live. So I don't know, but let me know in the comments your answers to any of these questions. If there's somewhere that you would always like love to live, let me know down in the comments. I've always wanted to visit Ireland, I've always wanted to visit Australia, I've always wanted to visit Thailand, the Philippines, I've wanted to go to Japan, but like, again, I haven't traveled to any of these places, so I don't know where I would want to live. But yeah, let me know where your dream like places that you would want to live. The next question is, have you ever been in the snow? And I grew up in the snow, honey. So I grew up in Grand Prairie, Alberta, and when I was little, it would get to like 50 below out there on the ground and 90 inches of snow. Let me know down in the comments if you know where that song is from. But growing up in Alberta, it was always like minus 50 Celsius, like freezing, freezing, freezing cold. And when I was a kid, the snow was usually higher than my head. And you'd have like a path down a back alley, and it would be like snow up past my head on either side of me, and I would just be walking through the path. So I grew up around lots of snow. Now that I live in North Vancouver, there's not very much snow. There was snow the first year that I lived here, but usually it just like snows once and then it's gone, and then that's basically it. So the next question is, who would be your ideal partner? And I don't know if this means like a specific person, because if it means a specific person, I could not tell you, or they would probably be my partner, because having an ideal partner, you know, like love is a two-way street. They would have to be choosing me as equally to me choosing them. I can't just pick somebody out in the world and be like, you're mine! But that being said, the ideal partner for me is somebody that is extremely independent, and they already know what they're after, and they're actively like chasing their goals, but they're willing to make room for somebody else, and we can meet on an equal ground. The ideal partner for me is somebody that is honest, somebody that is hardworking, somebody is empathetic and compassionate and mentally strong, and yeah, I don't know, just somebody that is loving and has a good heart basically is the ideal partner for me. But yeah, I have not dated anybody in a very, 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 very long time, so yeah, let me know what your ideal partner is down in the comments below, because I have no idea who my ideal partner is, because, yeah, no boyfriends for me. Anyways, number 7 is, do you still have your childhood teddy bear? And I honestly have so many of my childhood teddy bears. I have, like, literally multiple garbage bags full of stuffed animals from my childhood, because that is the one thing that I collected. Anytime I would go to a thrift store, I would get a teddy bear. When I went to visit my grandpa, he was, like, an expert at like the claw, like, you know, those machines that you put in the dollar or whatever, and you use the joystick to try and like pick up the stuffed animals. They have them at like movie theaters and arcades and stuff. Well, my grandpa was actually an expert at those, and so when I visited him, he gave me a bunch of stuffed animals as well, and they all had names. They all lived in like their little stuffed animal world, and it was all in my imagination, but like everybody had like their own family in my like fantasy world for my stuffed animals. And it was like me and my older brother Bryden that we like played stuffed animals together, and yeah, we had like this entire world for them, and it was kind of cute. But yeah, I still have literally like all of them, but my main ones from when I was a baby was like this goose that I got on my first Easter, and I still have him. And then I also got a little lamb that was by Play School, the brand. I got that as soon as I was born. And yeah, those are my main little stuffed animals from when I was a baby that I still have. The next question is, how many pairs of shoes do you have? And I currently have literally like 4 pairs of shoes, and that is probably it. I have like 2 pairs of dress shoes that are like falling apart, that were like thrifted, they're old as. And then I have like 2 pairs of running shoes that are falling apart as well, and also incredibly old. Next question is, your favorite holiday, beach, mountain, or city? So I'm the kind of person that if I'm in the city, I like to be in the city for like 2 days, not like a long time. That's why I choose to live in North Vancouver and not right downtown, because being in the city and being an empathetic person doesn't really work out too well. So I don't know, maybe in the mountain if I could be like deep in the mountains, but I don't know. I would definitely say somewhere where it's like the beach, but not like on an all-inclusive vacation or like an all-inclusive resort kind of thing. I'd rather be on like an actual island where I can go and explore and like go meet other people from the city. Next question is, do you like TV talent shows? So I used to be obsessed with TV talent shows. I literally grew up watching So You Think You Can Dance, American Idol, The Voice, X Factor, you name it, I watched it. At this point in my life, it is like my job to react to all of these different dances, so whether I like it or not, I'm going to see pretty much every single TV show that is online at this point. My favorite isn't really like Dance Moms is still probably my favorite out of all talent shows, but it's not really like a game show. I don't go out of my way to watch like The Voice or So You Think You Can Dance or any of those anymore, but growing up I definitely watched them all the time. So now I'm basically reacting to all of the dances from them, but aside from that I don't watch them like on cable or anything like that. Okay, so the next question is, what's your opinion on reality TV shows? So I guess I kind of just answered that. I love Dance Moms, but aside from that, I do not watch any other reality TV shows. I watch like some clips from Keeping Up with the Kardashians just because their life is fascinating, but aside from that, I don't really watch any reality TV shows. I used to watch The Biggest Loser, like way back in the day, and I also used to watch Fear Factor, but I don't even know if that's a TV show anymore. But other than that, no. I just watch Dance Moms, and yeah, that is about it for reality TV. The next question says, do you like scary movies? I don't watch so many scary movies anymore, but growing up, I loved scary movies. I would go to like any scary movie, but scary movies just kind of stopped being scary for me. So I do like psychological thrillers like The Shining. Absolutely love that, but yeah, that's about it for scary movies. 13 says, have you ever fired a real gun? And I actually have fired a real gun, and I don't think that it was legal. So I remember being like 8 years old, and my dad had like a black shotgun, and he took me and my brother out onto a dirt road, like way out of town, and we got to shoot the gun. So yeah, don't recommend that. That was back in the 90s, and probably shouldn't be doing that, but my dad probably isn't the best example of what you should and shouldn't be doing with your children, so just gonna say, yeah, probably shouldn't be shooting a gun at 8 years old, but again, I don't know the rules about guns. I don't own a gun. I will never own a gun. No interest in owning a gun, but yes, when I was like 8 years old, I did fire a real gun. Also, when I was in Air Cadets from like 12 years old until like 14 or something, we had to fire like Daisy air rifles, so I learned how to fire that, but I don't know if that counts as a real gun. It shoots like BB kind of pellets, but it is an air rifle, so there's that. The next question is the last film you watched, and the last film I watched was, geez, I do not watch a lot of movies at all, but I watched the Jeffree Star and Shane Dawson series. Does that count as a film? I'm going to be seeing Judy, which is like about the real life Judy Garland, and I'm going to be seeing that really, really soon. But what was the last movie I watched? I honestly cannot remember for the life of me. Sorry. The next question is, do you like roller coasters? And I absolutely love roller coasters, actually. They're my favorite thing about theme parks, aside from like the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, which is absolutely epic. But there's roller coasters in that too, and they're awesome. And the next question is, have you ever cried at a film? And I have cried at a film, and ironically, the last film that I cried at was Beauty and the Beast, you know, with like Emma Watson, and I don't know why, but that was like for some reason so touching to me that I was crying all throughout that movie. But yeah, I definitely cry at emotional parts in movies. I didn't used to growing up, but like now I'm definitely way more of like an emotionally connected person. So yeah, I definitely don't have any problems about crying in movies. It happens all the time. And the last question is, what is it really like being a YouTuber? So, what it's really like being a YouTuber, I would say that I've been doing YouTube for over 13 years now, and YouTube has definitely changed a lot over the years, but I would say that it's definitely super rewarding. Like, thank you guys so much to all of you guys that follow my journey and actually support me and everything like that, because I would not still be doing it if it wasn't for you guys. That being said, I feel like everybody thinks that YouTubers are rich, and that's really not the case, or else I would not be so financially stressed out right now. Like, I'm literally, like, months behind on all of my bills, and I'm not somebody that goes out spending like crazy. I am the most frugal person, and I make sure to always be on a budget. I don't really spend anything on recreation other than going for a walk, and that doesn't cost anything. My makeup is all like years old, and I got it from Dollar Tree, and I am the most like recyclable kind of person. But like, for example, as a reaction channel, the chance of me making money on a video is like 1 in 20. But for example, I have one video that's about to hit 1 million views, and I have not made a single cent on it. So pretty much every single video that I make is copyright claimed. So any money, if there were to be any money made from the video, is just going to that copyright claim person. But I could do another video on that. But aside from the money, I am extremely like rewarded by having a sense of community. I can log onto YouTube and have actual people that are interested in the same things as me reaching out to me and trying to communicate and be friends, and that is like the most rewarding and best part of YouTube in my opinion. So I don't know, it just kind of clicked one day because my mom always said, do what you want, like follow your heart, follow your dreams, and the money will follow. And that kind of always stuck with me. And then one day I was like, hey, what if I actually just start making reaction videos to all of this stuff that I'm watching anyways? And then that is ironically when my channel started to take off. Voila, who'da thunk, after doing YouTube for over 10 years, and then it was like, ba! So, that's ironic, but that being said, with my channel blowing up, I feel like that's the biggest misconception about YouTube, is that people see the views and they think that you're rich, or like they see that I started a GoFundMe because I have a tooth that's broken in the back, like my second from last molar is broken, and it causes me intense pain, like literally 24/7, and so I need a root canal and a crown, and it's going to cost me like thousands of dollars. And so I started a GoFundMe, and then so many people unsubscribed, and so many people were angry, and we're talking like hundreds of people were like angry that I started a GoFundMe, and they're like, rich YouTubers shouldn't be starting a GoFundMe and asking for money. And I'm like, hey, I don't know who we're calling rich. So I definitely have to hustle outside of YouTube. I've started a business through Scale about doing dance reactions and coachings for dancers. That hasn't really taken off yet. And I've started all these side hustles, and I'm still doing background, I'm still doing dance gigs and whatever I can get on the side outside of YouTube that like you guys don't see, that's kind of like behind the scenes. But like, you really gotta hustle on YouTube, especially if you're going to be a reaction channel, because that's just the reality of it. You can't monetize your videos, they're all going to be copyright claimed. So when people are seeing these big numbers like in the hundreds of thousands and the millions, they're like, oh, you've got to be rich. But no, that's not how it works. Some YouTubers are rich, some of us are not. But that's, I think, the biggest misconception. And that being said, the biggest plus is that, yes, there's a big sense of community, and that I've met so many friends online through YouTube. I've got to talk to and engage with so many other people that have all of the same interests in me, so that is the best part of YouTube in my opinion. But that is it for this Q&A. I'm sorry that the audio was kind of crap in this last couple minute section. My microphone cut out. All that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching the video and for supporting me. And all that being said, I guess that is it for this video. So make sure to be weird, be wild, and stay sparkly. I love you guys so much, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye!